At Democratic campaign events, Mueller report is barely mentioned. NHU for Democratic presidential candidates on Saturday. It wasn't quite campaigning as usual after the delivery of a long-awaited report from the special counsel roiled Washington over the weekend. But it was pretty close. At events across early primary states, voters asked about health care and school shootings and immigration. Questioners were Democratic voters said they cared deeply about the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election but weren't quite sure what to make of the latest twist, exactly. Sign up for our and join our conversation about the 2020 presidential race. We don't know what's in it, said Elaine Sullivan, 63, a retired businesswoman, after attending a town hall meeting with Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota in Rye, NH. One thing about the lack of questions at campaign events about the report surprised some of the candidates, who had come prepared with lines about the latest development in the nearly 2-year investigation. I tried to kind of delicately bring it up because I think it is the major issue, Ms. Klobuchar told reporters after her event. Ms. Klobuchar used a question about the separation of powers to mention her desire that the findings be made public, but that was the beginning and the end of public conversation about the topic. In South Carolina, the one question Beto O'Rourke, the former Texas congressman, fielded about the Mueller report came from State Senator Marlon Kimpson, a local Democrat and a host of a town hall with Mr. O'Rourke in Charleston. He asked whether, but others in attendance figured the answers would come later. I don't think you can really process anything right now, because we don't know what's in it, said Amy Drennan, 42, who works for a magazine publisher. Mr. O'Rourke said that the nation should employ this mechanism of impeachment as an absolute last resort. Ultimately, the response received warm rounds of applause. With no detailed information available, Democrats have focused their attention on pressuring Mr. Barr to release the full report quickly. In the hours after, my number one focus right now is to get it public, Ms. Klobuchar, who said she was worried that Mr. Barr would resist releasing details, told reporters after her town hall meeting. 90% of the conclusion of the investigation signifies a turning point in Donald Trump's presidency, one that Democrats hope will bolster their efforts to depict his administration as corrupt, self-serving and divisive. But the fact that Mr. Mueller did not charge any Americans with conspiring with Russia to influence the election immediately buoyed Republicans seeking to lift the cloud that has surrounded the president for much of his time in office. Still, Democratic candidates and people who showed up at their campaign events on Saturday tended to focus on more immediate concerns. Free every dreamer of any fear of deportation by making them American citizens now, Mr. O'Rourke proclaimed, responding to a question about the children of immigrants who are known as dreamers that came from a Hispanic woman who said she herself was one of them. A middle school-age boy said he wanted to know what could be done to make him feel safer in his classroom. Mr. O'Rourke, if they are boilerplate liberal messages, the messenger was received as something special, particularly in Charleston, where Mr. O'Rourke, at the town hall-style meeting at a local high school and a Friday night event at an area brewpub, drew largely white and well-heeled crowds bursting with excitement. Here and elsewhere, Mr. O'Rourke delivered his message with a rat-a-tat urgency, his knees bouncing in rhythm with his words, with one hand grasping a microphone and the other one gesticulating like a bull rider out of the chute. Frankie Galizia, 27, a human resources manager from Hilton Head Island, SC, said he was sold on Mr. O'Rourke because of his relatable style and because he hoped he would do a better job on issues he cares about, like LGBT rights. He wanted to know as much as possible about the Mueller report's contents, he said. But for now, the situation was much the same in Concord, NH, where John Hickenlooper, the former Colorado governor, was meeting with voters. Mr. Hickenlooper, standing on a pair of bar stools inside a packed brewery, told the tale of his rise from laid-off geologist to state leader, and then took questions on single-payer health care and the national debt. Henry Herndon, 26, an independent voter who works for a green energy advocacy group, said he had little reaction to the news that the report had been completed. He stood in the back of, "I am numb to it," he said, "the media hype of this issue." He didn't think there's nothing to comment on yet. Patricia Sheeran, 54, a farmer and a Democrat, said she saw no reason candidates should comment on the report at this stage, and she urged them to refrain from calling for impeachment. "I think if you talk about impeachment, you are going to anger those embedded supporters of Trump even more. And we want him out." Campaigning in South Carolina on Saturday, Pete Buttigieg, the 37-year-old mayor of South Bend, Industry, said Democrats should focus on why Mr. Trump was elected in the first place rather than pin their hopes on impeachment as the way to end his presidency. "To me, the most decisive way to put an end to Trumpism is for it be defeated massively at the ballot box," he told reporters. Lisa Lehrer reported from Rye, NH, Richard Fawcett from Charleston, SC, and Julie Turkowitz from Concord, NH. Trip Gabriel
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.